So hi and welcome everybody.
Mm.
The armoring webinar. Today the webinar is about what the armoring is, what you can expect, what you can learn, what sexual de-armoring is, what the training is exactly, and something else, and if you can offer de-armoring sessions after doing that training. My name is Matt. To my left and to my right, there is Susanna Beatrice and Diane Matuka. And please introduce yourself, Sana.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi everyone. Lovely to see you. Welcome. Yeah, I feel a little tired today. I just been doing this EES, like energy enhancement system. It's an amazing. I can't really tell you say so much about it because energy medicine things. I'm all kind of fluffy, spaced out. It's really amazing. Uh, so yeah, that's the space where I am today, basically. My name is Susanna, and I am the co-founder of DearmouringArts. I've met some of you and I've seen some of you here on the webinars now coming back. So I'm happy to see familiar faces. Like I just like, oh, it's friends coming in. And what about me? I am almost a lifelong seeker, been on the path of self-discovery for about 25 years, dedicated my life to this, to understand myself. How can I support people better? How can I contribute to a positive impact in the world? So that's what I live for. Of course, it hasn't always been an easy road. I've gone many turns to be able to sit here today and to be able to share my work with many people. So it's for me, it's a lot about learning by experience and doing the inner work and facing myself and going high and then going low and enjoying it along the way. So that's very short and very brief and quite vague about me. I'm happy to be here. Mr.
I'm
Dejan. Uh-huh.
spiritual kamikaze since 25
Yes.
years. I like that.
Yeah. Spiritual kamikaze, I like that.
Yeah, thank you, Sana. Yeah, your turn.
Hello, I'm Dan. I'm also co-founder of DearmouringArts. Right now, I'm at my favorite kiting beach in Portugal, where I live. So happy to be here, happy to share my experience and insights about the armoring with you. I've been on a journey for a very long time with the armoring since I was like mid-30s, so about just under 20 years. So feel free to ask any more questions if you and I'm going to pass on the torch to Matt if you want to say
Yeah,
something about yourself.
thank you very much. So I'm as well a kamikaze, a spiritual bodywork kamikaze crash pilot.
Crash pilot.
Had many crash landings in my life and just like resurrections. I think I'm a master magician in reinventing myself. I'm a guest teacher of the Armoring Arts. This is the seventh training I'm co-facilitating. I have a school or academy called Somatic Consent Academy, and I'm teaching consent, touch, and I'm on the journey since 25 years. So I started with Tantra and body de-armoring, uh, self-studied a lot about trauma and communication. And I'm so happy to be here today and talk more about the training and answer your questions, whatever they are. So, hi and welcome. So, yeah, Sana, you
Yeah, I
were.
just had this idea because I feel we have done quite some of this webinar and I feel like a parrot because I'm like introducing myself so often. And then there are people coming back and then I'm getting bored of myself. And then I also realized there are new people in the room that hasn't actually met us. So please, please also ask questions if there is something specific
Yeah.
you would like to know or if it is something that could contribute, yeah, that you would like to know about the training today, since the webinar is specifically about the training, or maybe about our journey, about the armoring or our biggest setbacks, or like help us to be more, to give you more, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And another part is we have at least one person here what is Robert, who has done the training a few years back. So if you have any questions from that perspective of a participant, as well, he's not only a participant, he's as well a professional in that arts and doing sessions and working. So if you have any questions to a participant, please feel free to ask him. I don't know, Robert, if you're willing to answer. That's another question. Then part of the training is that the three of us, so we have these big circles, and in the circle we have a so-called processing dynamic, and we have a lot of Q&A rounds where people ask something, or we have processing circles where people show up with their individual story or process, and you will hear to one question, three different answers. Yeah. And that's because we have all different life experiences, and you just pick up what serves you best. So if you have a question here today, there are no wrong or bad questions. Every question is perfect, and you get three different perspectives from us if it's not something that is fact-oriented. For example, when and how and what and so on. But if you want to hear from our expertise as professionals in that field, want to hear something specifically from us, we'll probably get three different perspectives. And that makes the training very rich, so that we are not locked in a specific way to see things. So please take full advantage of that. Sonali, and
think that
anything
is
you
a
want to add?
yeah. I think that is a great entrance if we're gonna start somewhere to unpack what is the training about. I mean, it is. I mean, Diane and I, we founded this training because we were in kind of the tantric DearmouringArts field in early 2010. And then we realized there was a lot of people misusing the tools. Like they became like, oh, I've done yoni DearmouringArts, now I'm gonna go out and save the world. Or I would just like, they use it as a power tool and they were not trauma informed, and people got abused and so on in sessions. We realized that we want to create a training which is safe, like create safe and responsible practitioners. That's like how it all kicked off and how it started. So we founded the training in 2016, I think. Was it? Yeah, I think 2016. Yeah. Then we had another co-teacher, and then we exchanged roles, and Matt came in. And I think this is why it's so unique, because we have so different angles on things. Like I have my life journey and I'm kind of representative for the feminine somehow. Dian has his life journey and Matt has his life journey. We also have our own geekiness, even though we kind of pull towards the same goal. We all have taken different roads. So that becomes very profound. And also we are not like anal in our teachings. Like okay, I can speak for myself, but what I want and what I actually know that the guys, the Matt and Diane wants as well, is authenticity. Like we want to help people to become authentic, become true to themselves. So we are not like, this is not the way. This is like, you don't have to follow us or listen to us. You take what you want and then you leave the rest. And there is no argument around that. We are not interested to be like sitting on the throne and you have to follow us and be the leaders in that sense. No, not at all. Like we're here to share knowledge and experience and help those who want along the way. So I think that makes it also very human and relaxed, and we have a lot of humor. We don't take life so serious, and yet we take our lives very serious at the same time. Yeah, we want to be like, I want to be the master of my game. I'm dedicated to that. I'm very serious. But at the same time, we live in this big cosmic joke, and let's have fun at the same time. Yeah, we should not forget that. So I think that kind of is the red thread of the entity of DearmouringArts, is this kind of playful but serious, sincere, and very, very human and down-to-earth entity. Yeah.
Mr. Matuka, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was just thinking while you were talking, Sana, basically the reason there are also three of us, well, apart from that we need three experienced people, is that who comes to a training will eventually develop your own style of DearmouringArts. There are no two practitioners that practice in the same way, and this is the beauty of this work. So three of us will give you a very different perspective on what DearmouringArts is, and how it's done. And so then when you develop your own style, you can actually include everything that you went through, all the previous experiences, training, everything that you kind of are already, and mold yourself into your own style. So I guess that's the benefit, one of the benefits of having three of us. Yeah.
So to opening up that a little bit, because we cannot assume that each and one of you know what we know, so what the armoring is, and the we will ask you in a little bit this: what is your armor? What is your main protection you're trying to hide? But maybe we three share just like a brief, a minute or so, or 2 minutes, what the armoring is and what you can expect. Would you like to start, Sana?
Sure. I was thinking about actually to talk a bit about it when Diane was talking, because often people come to the training and they expect to get a set of points. It's like, this is the map, this is where you press, this is in the order you press, and this is how you do it. Boom, it's a set of points. If you have that belief, like, who has that belief? Raise a hand. Anybody? No? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Which is completely fine, but that's not what the armoring is for us. Yeah. So people often come like, yeah, but I want the roadmaps, like, and then in the end of the circle, like, I had no idea that this is what the armoring is, and I had no idea how rich and profound this is. Yeah. So when it comes to the actual bodywork, what I loved with the armoring is that it, like Diane says, it brings in so much flexibility and adaptability and an invitation to develop a skill to really read the person you have in front of you. And then you can use anything from consent work to sexual healing work to pressing points to breath work to parts work to role play to energy work to soul play. I mean, it's infinite, and it makes it so much fun, you know, at least for me, because I loved when I used to give much more sessions. Then I was like, I'd love to get a person into the room, and I was like, what's gonna happen here? You know, it was always fresh and was always new, and I really allowed just spirit to guide me. Yeah, and then I could apply and use all these tools in whatever mix and form I wanted. And that makes it so liberating to do this work, yeah, for me. So it's not like a massage that you learn classic massage in a specific way, in a specific order. Of course, that in the end also becomes more flexible. But the arming is really a way of helping people to become more authentic to me. And then we use whatever tool we have and can in order to help them to do so. Yeah, whether it's, yeah, like I said, physical work or soul work or sexual work or whatever it is. Yeah.
So I think essentially, if you choose to join the training, I guess the only promise that, or at least I can say, from the training, apart from potential benefits that you will get beside the point, but the promise is that at the end of those 11 days, you will know precisely what the armoring is and what it's not. Because the armoring is very specific. It can be done, as Sana said, in endless ways, but with the same, not result, but with the same reason, with the same point. There's definitely, this is the armoring and this is not the armoring. That's the armoring and that's not the armoring. So at the end of 11 days, after you go through all the experiences, all the sharings, all the training, all the sessions, all the everything that you're gonna go through, you're gonna sit at the end and say, okay, now I get it. And then, that's the reason why we call it basic training. And then at the end, if you choose to train as a de-armoring practitioner, then your training begins. You know, this is just a foundation of understanding and first steps. Afterwards, of course, you're gonna have enough experience to practice on your friends and your partner, and you know, not charging money, obviously, because you're not gonna be qualified by any stretch. But you will know enough to start practicing, and then to kind of further trainings, and also at the end of the training, we actually write on a whiteboard all the trainings that we recommend. The three of us went through in our trainings, as a potential development, future development for you, should you choose to follow that road. Because to become a de-armoring practitioner will take, at least in my book, anything between 2 and 4 years to actually call yourself a professional. Like, it's a serious, intense work. This is not a joke. We're dealing with real people, real emotions, real pain, real stuff. We don't take this lightly, and that's the very reason we created the school in the first place, to create safe and responsible people. And to be a professional in any field, it's a few years training. So the armoring is no different.
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
can just add a small thing to that, Matt, just short.
and
So that's also why 50% is personal work and 50% is kind of technique, because the deeper you can go in yourself and learn about yourself and witness, all these other people going deep within themselves and transforming themselves, this is all beautiful and useful information that you can use with your clients, yeah? Because it's really about doing the deep work. It's really about that. That's the path, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
yeah,
essentially, I
so
guess. Yeah. Okay. You go. You
no,
go.
no, no, just please,
Huh?
just please speak.
No, but basically, I was gonna say, just to add on to this. So you will find out that space holding actually is the main part of the job. It's the ability of a practitioner to hold a super safe, super loving, super deep space where your client can energetically and emotionally feel safe. Because it's only when I feel safe that I'm actually opening a possibility of exposing my armor, exposing my pain, exposing my stuff to the surface. If I don't feel safe, I will never open. So the session will be like a massage, it will be a shallow session. So this is why space holding and going through our own stories one after another, hundreds of those, creates a really deep space holder. And then it's really just enough for us to sit with you, perhaps ask you a question, perhaps touch you somewhere, and poof, stuff comes out because you trust.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that we have so many people from all walks of life. So, and some people are already practitioner of any kind of modality. They just learn what we teach and they implement it in their work they do already. And they just know they go straight from the start, what is fine. And then we have some people who have never done any kind of professional work and they just want to go into that and they just actually want to make that as a profession. And then we have people who never want to make that as a profession, who only come for a personal experience, for an opening individually. So, what is de-armoring from my perspective? I'm the German engineer here. I I love the entire structure of the nervous system, trauma work. I bring in the polyvagal theory. I just do a lot of anatomy, how stuff kind of works. And when you just see armor from a perspective of trauma, we all need to go through armor in our life to a certain degree when we have been growing up. There's nothing wrong or bad about that. It's just we can all clap our shoulders and say we survived, we made it, we are there on the other side. The shield, the armor is a very intelligent design, adaptive behavior that we have that has served us. But then the question is, what are we doing with that armor when we don't need it anymore? And are we capable of getting rid of it? Or are we keeping it like a garbage bag monster on our back? And whenever we're coming in a challenging situation, we actually become the victim of our own conditioning. So, and then the question is, specifically in the field that we create, specifically the three of us, and we have a really amazing assistant team of 10 amazing people who went through the training several times and have assisted several times. It's like a pressure cooker. So everything what Sana and Deanne said that is not authentic will come up. It's not like we provoke or we poke it out. It comes up if you want it or not. And then it's up to you and your choice. And what Deanne said, we create a safe frame and container to just like let the cherries pop, and you are in a great place, you are in good hands, and we serve you all the way through and guide you on the other side so that you can get rid of your armor. And whenever you need your armor back after the training, you can always put it back on if you need or if you want to. But in this time, we have heard people saying this 10 or 11 days is just like 3 years of therapy. So this is the invitation. And Robert is nodding his head, and I'm really curious what you have to say, Robert. Please,
That's
would you like
great.
to
I just
say
want
what
to,
you
I want to
experienced?
add a little bit onto it before. Have you finished,
I'll
Matt?
be brief. Well, for me, it initiated this phase of life that I'm in. I'm one of the people that came mostly for personal growth. I'm not a dearmoring practitioner. I'm a shiatsu practitioner. So I've gone in that direction. But I don't think my life would have gone in this direction had I not gone in the dearmoring direction. And I have my own work to do. I'm not looking at it right now for myself, but you guys are my friends. I wanted to see it. So here today. Say hi. But at
Yeah.
some point, I'd like to come back and do more training. At some point.
Mm. Please,
Thank you,
DM, you
Robert.
wanted to add something.
I wanted to talk about just extend a little bit more understanding, depth of understanding what kind of container we create and what it takes to be in that space. So by now you're getting that this is not a joke and it's quite deep work. But what that means is that we are continually going to ask you to get real with yourself, to just be honest, normal, human, however you are. If you feel in fear, if you feel confronted, if you feel blocked, if you feel ashamed, if you feel joyful and you don't want to express it or don't feel you could express it, basically we're going to encourage all of you to really, it's a space of free expression so that you can really express everything that is suppressed, because that's really the only thing we need to do as humans. We just need to dig in and have the freedom to actually speak out what we could never speak, either because we were bullied or because we were suppressed or because we were afraid or because it wasn't appropriate or because we thought we were fucked up and like, oh, I can't say that. So you can expect a space of utter freedom where you can really just be yourself. And right now, this is kind of intellectual blah blah, but you will appreciate it when you actually sit at the end of it, how much that helps, how much we all need that space where nobody judges you. Nobody, it's like, it's okay. You know, we all fucked up. None of us had perfect parents. None of us live in a perfect society. So consequently, we grew through unhealthy environments, and therefore we picked up patterns which are unhealthy. So you can expect a space where really you can be yourself, deeply 100% supported to be yourself, not just tolerated, but actually encouraged to come out with all the deep and dark. And I guess this is one of my specialities, is working through the dark side and working through the shadow and bringing it to the light, working through everything that you feel you shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't have done, but you did. Then I'm going to help you to be okay with it and to really find a way to love yourself, even though you did all that. So that's what you can expect. So
So now you had a little add-on as well?
Yeah, I feel like I was just tapping into when Diane was speaking, like I feel it as the path of openness, where we are perfection and so much life and joy and light and love, and then with time, with age, just put these limiting beliefs and conditioning and armor on top of that. But so really, instead of starting to judge it from the outside and block ourselves from living, like how can we allow love and life to simmer out and through this and release, see it more as a release process from the inside. So we kind of allow ourselves to be more in fullness, yeah, instead of seeing it as we are something to fix or that we're something, there's something wrong with us, yeah. So really a deep opening to
Yeah.
life as it is when it flows in a natural way, yeah, and that's the beauty, yeah, that's really the beauty. And it is challenging, and it's supposed to be challenging. Like if it's not challenging, it's not mastery. Like that's the path, that this is how we learn about ourselves, this is how we grow true power, as I call it. Like we learn and we dare and we are being courageous and we show up and we integrate this part and these pieces, and we can use that for the benefit of, for the good, for goodness, yeah. So, and I
So,
love that when I hook into that the path of openness, then it's just more smooth. It's challenging. But it brings on a celebration and an aliveness in the end. Yeah.
a lot.
so what I would like to say at this point is the training, how we structure that. So the three of us building the core, and we have an eagle eye on everybody, so we actually taking the entire field, the entire environment, and just juggling the entire structure. And then we have this assistant team. They see everything that we don't see, and uh, and then everything that they don't see. Uh, this is literally your own responsibility, kind of showing up for yourself, and that's the invitation for now. If you have any questions
Yes, I was
based on
just
your own field, your own armor, your own struggle, your own stuff in life where you would like to break free, where you just dive deeper into yourself. Unmuting yourself here and speaking in a room full of stranger is maybe already the first step of the armoring.
Yes, Jonathan.
and yeah, and also if you have a question, kind of training related, please write it also so we can talk into that if it's something specific you would like to know. So help us out a bit.
Jonathan, please.
Yeah, thank you guys. First of all, just Robert, would you mind if I reached out to you sometime since we kind of live next to each other? Would it be
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
Yeah. Could you put your email in the chat and then maybe I'll
Yay.
later
Yeah,
hit you up.
nice. We love
Thank you.
that.
Thing about this worldwide thing, people connect and practice.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's already happening. Yeah. So, I do two questions though. Like, first of all, well, I've heard of body work. There's so many people like, oh, well, this is somatic de-armoring. Then there's a guy who does Kundalini de-armoring. Yeah, I don't know what these things mean. Like, what's the difference between this and these other things? Second of all, what kind of clients would want this? What kind of people come? What problems would they bring? What would they wish to have done? What is this
Everybody.
kind of for?
Donna, you go first.
I can start.
Okay.
Let me see the first question. Okay, what's the difference? So the difference can be, for example, some schools like Kundalini bodywork is more focused, or Kundalini de-armoring is more focused on increasing Kundalini energy in the body. It's more energy related. So it's more, it can also have more of a sexual flavor to it. Doesn't have to, but it's more energy oriented. Somatic de-armoring I have never heard of, but that sounds like pressure point de-armoring, like working on the body. It's probably similar to the body oriented de-armoring that we do, but de-armoring for us is different. It's not only hands on body. Yeah, it's like, who am I? What are my limiting beliefs? Like, it's how do I live my life? It's so many different ways de-armoring are for us. Yeah. Then there are some schools, I don't know if that, there used to be some school that did more hard pressure de-armoring, which is actually damaging for the body, which I suggest to be alert and aware of, because we can press through the body and then the body goes into a stress response, and then we will let go, then the body shakes and release because it released from the stress response, but actually it causes more trauma than releases. Yeah. So we want to work with the fine line of some people just need more pressure because that's just their body type. Yeah. But it's still about inviting the body to open. Yeah. And that's our style, like a more soft touch de-armoring. Yeah. So does that answer your question somehow when it comes to different styles?
Yeah, that was wonderful. That's exactly what I want to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And when it comes to the clients, I can speak for myself, and then Matt and Dian has their experience with clients. Since de-armoring, the signature in this work is kind of sexual healing work, or can be. So when I used to work, I used to niche towards more sexual awakening and sexual healing work. So obviously, people came to me who wanted to increase their sexuality and wanted to come in contact with their sexuality and wanted to do sexual healing work. Yeah, so I worked on their genitals. So that's kind of what people came for: sexual awakening, intimacy, and sexual healing work, trauma related. Nowadays, I started with this 2010. Now it's a trend. So the de-armoring has grown much bigger. Yes, I can see more mainstream people are coming, looking for it because they heard this buzzword, Johnny de-armoring or Lingam de-armoring. So it start become a thing. So celebrities goes and influencer goes, and so there's like much more people coming now with different type of problems, and they come often with one problem, or they believe they have this problem or what they want, and then we work with something else. Yeah, often it's low self-esteem and self-worth and so on. Yeah.
Jan, you want to jump on?
I can, yeah. So first of all, when it comes to naming the trainings and naming the bodyworks and naming what people do, we also need to be aware that there are so many schools and ways of doing it that people just need a name, and they don't want to have all the same name because you can't. So then I find that there are like so many different names and descriptions, and so just given by the name, I cannot give you definition of what they do. I would have to experience it, and then I would say that's what it is. So that's one thing. And this is what I said basically. Our style of the armoring. So okay, so for me, armor is anything that stands between me and full openness to God, divine, whatever you want to call it, my mastery. So this is armor. So the road is very long, and therefore it has to become a lifestyle. So the armoring for me, it's a lifestyle. And so there are many different tools that I use to de-armor myself and others. One is body work. There's just one level, that's the armoring the physical body. The armoring emotional body can be done online. I can actually talk to you and through talk therapy or through conversation, skillfully ask questions and guide your awareness into parts of you that I don't need to touch you to have the same effect as if I put a finger on your body. I can also do it energetically. So actually without touching, without talking to you, you can just be wherever you are. I'm where I am, and I just do it energetically. So there are a number of different ways that we do, and you will experience it all in the training, because we do all three styles within the training to demonstrate how we do it. So that's the answer to that question. And then, what was the second question?
That was the second question.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
the
great, by the way. Thank
All
you.
right, then
Oh
I'm
yeah,
done.
Yeah,
we know
just
what
what kind of clients come with you?
Oh,
I would
yeah,
assume,
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So basically, because Ama for me is anything that stands between me and my mastery, absolutely everybody who is alive is potentially a client, because we deal with literally every single human problem that you can imagine, from low self-esteem, from any kind of childhood abuse, any kind of childhood issues, any kind of bullying, any kind of not living your full potential, any kind of not knowing how to make money, not having a girlfriend or boyfriend, not knowing how to communicate, not knowing how to be yourself, how to be social, if you're socially awkward. So there are literally countless and endless situations and issues that the armoring deals with, because it literally deals with everything that stands between me and God. So really, like, picture that. It's like between me and mastery, there are hundreds and hundreds of issues just in my life that I need to deal with. And the armoring deals with all of it. So this is the scope, this is the reach, this is the vastness of this system. This is not something that I'm just gonna talk to you because you had a childhood trauma. No, I'm gonna work with you until, well, until as deep as I am, because I can't take you deeper, but the aim is to reach mastery.
And of course, you can niche, like with everything else, you can niche within whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, and my 5 cents to that. um, Yes, a little bit, when you see different schools who offering the work. So like what you do right now, you just like jump on a Zoom call and check the people out. Do they resonate with you? What's your gut feeling saying? How do you feel? What is your rational thinking saying? Do you feel free? Do you feel safe? Do you feel connected? That's an important thing. And it doesn't really matter how they call it. We call it the armoring art because the armoring for me is an art form, and that's where we all kind of operate in the same field, because you don't find A, B, C, D, E written in a book what the armoring is. So you have to individualize that. And similar, like Sana said, my form of the armoring or my style is when the body, the physical, the emotional, the neurological kind of dynamic is fully free, like Deanne said, it's a spiritual path. But my expertise is that we all have an ecstatic, orgasmic experience in our body that we can access specifically when it comes to proximity between lovers. Well, we all love. This is my, I love that path. This is really beautiful. And this is what I've done over years with individuals, with men, with women, with couple, to just like get that armor out of the way, that people find their deepest sexual truths when they are with the people they want to be with. And this is my part. And then what kind of clients, because there are so many different people in the world who resonating with different people. That means if you have a practice where you offer your service, you will attract a certain amount of people that nobody else will. And that's exactly the thing. And the more you work on yourself and the deeper you dive in different topics of your life, the more different people will resonate with you and will come into your practice. Um, if you don't want to work in this profession at all, but you will see that the behavior in your engagement with another human will change when you're just not dependent on your armors, that other people resonate with you and will come towards you and will say, hey, Jonathan, something in you is resonating with me. I have no idea what it is, but just like, tell me, who the fuck are you? Yeah. So this is what I've experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I just want to put a little bit of a weight on the scales to the other side, because those two, they are coming from a very sexually oriented de-armoring practice. So I'm the geek on the other side. So this is the 8th year that I'm in celibacy, strict celibacy. I do not touch naked bodies. I do not engage with sexual energy at all, like zilch. So this is also good to know that the training is not just sexual de-armoring. There's a big
Absolutely not.
emphasis on it because we do internal de-armoring, but my weight on the training is actually pulling to the other side and holding it completely non-sexual 100%. So
Yeah, and I want to add that it's
that's
not like, yeah, it's good that you hold that point down. It's very, very valuable, and also that even if the signature is sexual healing work, but in the basic training, it's emphasized on the therapeutic side. Even though sexual healing, like sexual awakening, is very therapeutic because people don't know how to be alive and joyful. People just many want to suffer. Say it with full heart. So, but in the basic training, we work really like when we take away pleasure from the equation, when our genitals are being touched, a whole other level of healing can happen. Yeah, because often when our genitals are touched, it's a conditioning, like I have to get horny, I have to show off, or I'm gonna get ready to have sex or whatever. So in the basic training, we take away all those
I have to
elements in order
perform.
to focus on the healing aspect and the love and the care, so everybody can just relax and be themselves. Yeah. And then we have add-on training, so level 3 where I teach, where we work more with sexual energy, and then other trainings where to master depth. Yeah. So I think that's important because some people, and I think that's like a bit different from with our training from other trainings, that it's not the focus on on sexuality as sexual expression. Yeah.
No.
In the fundament, it's very therapeutic and healing. Yeah.
Well, that was fantastic. Thank you, all three. Thank you.
You got
Thanks, John. Thanks,
standard.
Jonathan, for that question. Just have three different perspectives and filter out what serves you best. And that's an inspiration, hopefully, for somebody else to just want to ask your question.
Yeah,
So,
maybe.
every question is welcome, whatever that is.
I feel
Please.
like I want to answer, yes, yeah, I read your question. I'm gonna answer the next question.
All right. Okay.
So I don't know way that we are passing on the training to someone else. This is not true. The constellation of the teachers could potentially change. We still don't know, but it's definitely staying the armoring arts, and the we don't know who is gonna, like, three of us, maybe one will not be there, or maybe, but basically it's the same. You're not gonna miss out on anything really.
No, we're
It's the
not
same
gonna.
training.
Nobody's taking over. We're not passing it on.
Yeah, I mean, in your question, it sounds like you're leaving it to someone else. Absolutely not,
Wait,
because
I
nobody
would
else
be.
can do what we do. Huh?
Yeah, I'm just curious where that
Someone.
information came from. If you want to write to us in private, you don't need to bring it up here, Veronique. Not
Yeah.
here, but in private. I would be just super curious to understand.
So, any other questions regarding your life or your participation or curiosity, anything?
If your heart is pounding and you feel shy, then it's your turn.
Sophia?
This is the armoring already opening
Yeah,
up the
exactly.
microphone and speak.
I want to add into that as we sit here and we are a bunch of beautiful people and one thing, yes, Veronica, just 1 second. And this is one thing that I see after being in the healing field for such a long time, and also looking to myself. I was really, really, really insecure back in the days, like super insecure, full of self-hatred, self-doubt. I didn't know my power. I didn't think I had anything to share or do, and it took me a really, 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 really hard work to be where I'm at today. And so what I see often in the healing field is that many people get stuck in the healing. Like we think that it's almost like it's endless. Oh, that the vulnerability is only in sharing, like, today I don't feel so good, or my story, this happened to me, or this is my vulnerability. But actually, what is really, really, really vulnerable is to show up in our greatness. Yeah. So how come it's so challenging to sit here and just unmute ourselves and ask a question? I don't say you have to do it. It's just like a question to ponder, because I meet this so many times working with people that they just refuse to step into the greatness. They know they have a gift to share. They know they have more to give to the world. They have something they want to give to clients, but still they don't do it because it's so vulnerable. And I can also see it for myself in my own path. Like the more I show up, I get so much shit from people. There's so many projections because people are so, there's almost like a collective, at least in Sweden, and I think it's worldwide. It's like the janteloja. It's like we're not supposed to believe we are anything. So we put this kind of collective blanket onto us not to show up in our greatness. We can be healthy. We can stand in our power in a healthy way and share our gift and mission and voice and beautiful medicine in a healthy way. And then, of course, there are some people who are just narcissistic and like, oh, look at me, look at me. And this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a healthy power and a healthy expression. And this is what I would love to see more of in the world, because we don't have enough healthy leaders. Yeah, there is not enough healthy, beautiful people leading the way. So I want to, yeah, tell me, Diane.
No, it's just like you're on a roll. It's like, okay, we got you.
Okay, I'm passionate.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, okay. My point is to inspire expression.
Please feel inspired, Monique, to unlock your microphone and speak your truth.
Yes, I had a question about
Veronica.
do you also work on karmic, transgenerational and karmic stuck memories or issues when we do the de-armoring? Because some of the sexual issues that I have, I think are caught in that real realm. And I was wondering if this is something that you address, that you believe in, or you don't, or it's a different approach.
I would like to take this one on.
Of course.
So, to be fully responsible and grounded, the answer is no. And the answer is yes. Because I don't know. No, I need to be, I'm really fully honest here. So I'm aware of my stuff, but I'm not aware of your stuff. Some, yes, but mostly not. So it would be irresponsible to say, yes, we work on karmic stuff and pretend that we're all these spiritually awakened masters. We're not. I'm not. I speak for myself. So yes, it's possible that through the process that you're going to go through, you're by default going to clear out some of the stuff that you came in with. Amazing. But I'm not going to claim it and definitely not going to guarantee it. Or I can send it to someone who can work with this, but I cannot. I'm speaking for myself. And the other
Okay.
two, you can claim your truth.
What?
So for me, do you want to go first, Matt?
Yeah, okay, I do.
Yeah.
So we are not a shamanic de-armoring school, and there are some out there. and some working with ancestral and past life regression and all that. I've done that, so I know what I'm talking about. And what I'm a fan of in this training is if you have that awareness around working on ancestral dynamics and inherited from your lineage and all that, you are aware of such. Yeah. And we have a lot of sessions where you can freestyle. And if you would like intentionally work on a certain topic with somebody you trust and would like to go in there, you can individualize your session in your best benefit. We support that, but we don't work with guided journeys and ancestral healing dynamics.
Okay.
And I want to add something to that. At the same time, everything is like intertwined, and you know, sometimes there are spontaneous group processes arising because topics between, let's say, the masculine and the feminine, topics around sexuality, topics around abuse, around rape, around repression can arise in the field, and then we spontaneously create a process around that. So but that's more of a collective healing, yeah? Yeah. So that can happen, but like Matt said and Diane said, we don't individualize that. And at the same time, I'm also a bit my truth is that I would not give my power away to say that this is my karma and I'm stuck in this and da 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 da. I choose to deal with what is here and now, and then I also am aware about karmic patterns that are playing out in my lifetime right now. But I don't choose to make myself like I have to deal with my karmic pattern from this life, this life, this life. Like I'm aware about stuff, but it's here and now that it's important. Yeah. And that's just my truth, and that's how I choose to live it. So I don't. Sometimes I meet people who I see create suffering because they think it's irreversible almost. So I want to be mindful that we don't create another armor or conditioning and think that it's like now I need to work another 1,000 lives in order to change this, because I don't believe in that. I choose to believe in another type of transformation. Yeah.
Now the question was, can it be linked to it? Because I have no idea. I just don't know. So it's just knowing if it's a possibility and if there's a way of finding if that's coming from that space. That's all. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I would like to add something to that. Specifically, when you have a certain issue in your life that might be sexual related, that you feel stuck in your relationship with, that it's like a returning behavior pattern, belief system, whatever you have, you can be sure whatever there is that is kind of not conditioned through society, through kind of a lover or anybody else. Everything that you have inherited is literally from your parents. They have inherited that from their parents in the same dogmatic dynamic, right? We carry all of that, and that's literally a lifetime of exploration, and different people will definitely open up different doors, and then you come in connection with different belief systems, and then the question is, can you confront them? And that's our invitation, to confront these belief systems.
And that's where a lot of power lies, I think, to be aware about that and turn them around and create a new reality based on that insight. That's the faster format, I believe.
That's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Another question.
Hi, I'm Emma. Sorry, I was late in this Zoom meeting, but I choose to jump in anyways. It's not a question really, but you asked us to pick up the mic, and I am right now. So I just wanted to say that I felt very drawn to Dean, what you were talking about, this that you can do the armoring at a distance, on the talk, or just by using energy. My belief with the armoring was more of the hard work, like trigger points and also like what Sanna said, that you can do it gentle, felt it was more resonating to me, and also that it can be also not just linked to the sexuality. It was like a larger field. So there was some reflections that I had. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. And that's also DearmouringArts. I don't know, I know you're courageous, Emma, and a go-getter, but that can also be a DearmouringArts to open the mic here and speak. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And so what we're talking about, is it helpful that we sit here and share? Do you get some insights? Do you learn something? Is it anything else you'd like to know? Any question that arises? Is it helpful? Put a thumb up so we get some feedback. Oh, you see that I got a party in my back.
Explosion behind me. That's awesome. Or you might want to know some more kind of facts about the retreat center where we are, how you're being taken care for, whatever you need to know. Please.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely it's my favorite, not very strong, talking in front of the camera. I'm here because of my curiosity. I've been on some retreat some time ago, and I experienced a little bit, I would say maybe just the beginning of a DearmouringArts. And it was really powerful. It had very strong effect on me. But not only it changed my posture a bit, like in here, but also my perception. So it was very powerful. So I believe it has a huge healing potential. But I also believe that, as we spoke about this, how we can, if we decide at some point, maybe support or help others. Yeah, maybe one day. First, we probably need to do it on ourselves to remove some blockages and some limiting beliefs and all of this, what's kind of block us from living with more joy and openness. So that's why I'm here. I'm very curious about this potential of this DearmouringArts.
Yeah. Appreciate that reflection. And I actually love what you just shared with that you noticed that your posture got better and also affected kind of your mind and provided more openness. Yeah, because when we have armor in the body, it kind of like if anything, if a healthy body is more open, fluid, energetically, yeah, and then we have trauma and something happened and the body stores this memory in the body, that means that the frequency of that trauma, that experience is vibrating in the body. And then we add another one and another one and another one. And suddenly we have this flock of trauma experience that creates a distortion. Like we're not living who we truly are. We're living from the past, conditioned from the past. Yeah. So when we go into a physical the armoring and the armor is released, then the energy lines, the fluidity, life as it is, starts to flow more freely, and that creates more of an openness, an alertness, more of a presence, yeah, because it goes that illusion, that memory from the past suddenly disappears, and we become more free. Yeah, this is why it's so powerful. I never came across a more powerful method, actually, to be honest. Like it's incredible in that sense. I keep coming back and taking sessions because it's incredible. Yeah.
I have a little bit to add to that. So the interesting thing about that is, and it comes from a shamanic teacher in the past. And this teacher, she told me that, when you start your journey, and that's true for me and I guess for you as well. So we start more on the individual thing. So just like me, myself, and I, and where I am. And then we just see, okay, so we just like get rid of stuff that we have individually to work on. And then when we have cleaned that up, then some people go deeper and then we just go more on the family stuff, just like, okay, what's the family history, what is the next step there in the family constellation, and then we do certain work there, and then we just go more like on the community level, the next one, kind of just like our village, or and then the country, and then on the collective level, and then it just maybe becomes a level where we can go deeper on a spiritual journey for humanity. And I like this sentence, um, we can only guide people as deep as we have gotten ourselves. And this is when we actually, on the journey of, like Dean said that, and resonates with me very much, that Ama is the kind of layer of protection between me and my relationship to the divine, to God. And then when we're on that journey, we think now we are there, we are just like enlightened and everything is good. And then somebody will tell you, just like have a week of holiday with your parents, and then you see enlightened you are. And then we just can come back and do another level of healing and cleaning what we haven't done, some residue where we haven't worked through. And then we just can dive a little bit deeper, and then we just get a little bit more in alignment. And so I love that journey. It's an ongoing trip where we all reflect on each other, how we can dive deeper.
We have time for another question, so
And
let's
then
see.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Yes, Veronique?
Sorry, it's me again. It's not a question, but it's a sharing. So I came for the first time in contact with DearmouringArts in March of this year, and it was through a workshop in France. And it was, as you said, Sana, it was hard, was painful. And I asked Diane for a reference in Paris, of a practitioner in Paris, and we went there about a month ago, and I was expecting pain, and I didn't get any pain. It was extremely, she got trained with you. It was extremely gentle, extremely soft, and she explained to me that she was actually using my energy and her energy combined to release some of the obstacles. And I felt that it was just a wonderful way to do it, and definitely not stressful. So I just wanted to share that, because that was, the difference was just really big as far as the technique is concerned. What she said to me is that sometimes when people, don't have much experience really with de-armoring, and they're not in contact with their body, she uses more pressure so they can feel, their body like this. But when we kind of used to it, and we work already in the energy field, she doesn't use pressure at all. She only uses the energy to actually get the energy to just, push through really the obstacles. And that was just a wonderful session. And we're going back in 2 weeks' time. So thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it's always or often for a successful de-armoring session, it's a dance between giving and receiving. So receiving is not just about being passive. It's like, how can I learn to feel myself from the inside? How can I meet this armor? How can I open up into it? So it's an engagement. It's a dance.